What is up, everybody? And we are going to be doing another NFL mock draft, this time with the Detroit Lions. So we're going to go ahead. This is again from the Draft Network. We have 7 rounds that we're going to be doing. Normal draft speed. I believe we have the 11th pick as of right now. This is coming up on week 15. I'm going to be doing it for the Detroit Lions, my second favorite team to the New England Patriots. So, manual draft, and let's get started with this. All right, so as we hit that, obviously Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Sewell, definitely 3. I'm kind of curious to see if anybody is reaching up. Okay. Nobody reached up for exactly who I was talking about, which was Trey Lance. I thought the Falcons could go with Trey Lance there, but honestly, I could see them still going with Matt Ryan. So it says on the Draft Network that our needs are interior defensive line, wide receiver, linebacker, quarterback, just really anything. Now, the Lions, for me, have a very good offense. I think it really comes down to the offensive line, and then our defense, just really being able to stop other teams. I think that's just been the main issue, and coaching, which we finally got rid of Matt Patricia. Even though I am a New England Patriots fan, I still was kind of happy to see him go. So, at number 11, we have TJ Hawkinson. Do we take the chance to add another offensive weapon with Kyle Pitts? Matthew Stafford is 32 years old. It got the Stafford jersey on now. I really like him. He's a future Hall of Famer, in my opinion. I think he fits well, but I could also see the Detroit Lions making a trade this offseason with Matthew Stafford and just hitting the hard reset, giving him to a team like the Patriots or like the Falcons or another team like that thinks that they're just a quarterback away from changing things up. And I say the Falcons because they might be done with Matt Ryan. We don't know. According to this mock draft so far, and the reason I'm doing a mock draft like this and not just doing pick by pick is because I want the Draft Network, their algorithm, to go ahead and actually pick the players that fit for that team. They've been doing all the research. They've been doing the hard work and everything for that. But we have the Lions. Do we take Kyle Pitts here, or do we take Zach Wilson and hit the reset button? I love Zach Wilson. I think we're going to go with Zach Wilson here. We're going to hit the reset button, draft a quarterback at number 11 overall. We don't have another pick in the first round, but by doing that, that sets us up to give us the flexibility if we want to trade Matthew Stafford in this draft, right, for a second-round pick, or if we want to keep him, let Zach Wilson develop for a couple of years and then have that nice, easy transition, while in the background we are trying to retool our defense, keep some of the wide receivers here, because, let's face it, a couple of our wideouts are leaving, so we do need a wideout, and that's probably exactly what we are going to do at 43 overall. We have Ronald Moore here, who's kind of the best available there. We do need some help at tackle, but I don't know if I want Radons here. We have Pat Freiermuth. We were thinking about going with the tight end, but we really don't because of TJ Hawkinson. It wouldn't hurt to have 2. Let's see. Who am I thinking here? So we could go offensive line. We could go tight end. We could go anything, really. Ronald Moore, I like. I just don't like him at this position. 43 is essentially, a late first-round pick. It's going to be high talent there at that pick. So we want to make sure we get it right. We need interior defensive line. We need tackles. We need wideouts. We need everything. We're going to go with the tackle. We're going to go with the tackle in the second round. Fans aren't going to be happy with it. I will not be happy with it, but I'm doing these as realistic as possible to make sure that we actually get the players that fit our team. So really the problem is now is, we got the tackle, we got Zach Wilson. We still haven't done anything on defense. So at pick 75 coming up here, in the third round, we got to start taking some of these defensive players that I really, really like that are out there. One of the ones, Carlos Basham, that just went. But luckily for me, actually, Marvin Wilson is down here with Florida State. And then we have Jordan Davis from Georgia, who I like a lot. We could go out and get a safety. We do need it. Let's just see the current picks. So obviously we have those two. For some reason I thought that was going to show us our picks coming up. We can also trade in this simulator. I'm not going to do that just for the sake of of the content, I want to actually make that pick. So I think I'm going to go with Jordan Davis here. I really like him out of Georgia. I think he's a mean physical. If we go to our attributes about him, 6'5", 330, big boy. And he's a junior. I think he's not as young. I think what is he, an older junior? I don't know if it shows date of birth. Yeah, it doesn't. So a little bit room to groom him in the third round. We kind of shore up that interior defensive line, which is a big thing right now. There's a lot of needs with this team that are just tiny little needs. The thing is, with Matthew Stafford as your quarterback, with these wideouts, with DeAndre Swift, who was my favorite running back coming into the draft, I was so happy the Lions got him last year. With all of that coming together, the offense is pretty much set in stone. We have Key and Peele, just kidding. We have Colby Harvey Peele from OKC. He is down there as the best safety available. There he is. Caden Stearns from Texas. I do like him as well. But, man, we go Shaka Toney here for the edge. Like, I know we need edge, but, like, they really are assuming we need a linebacker first. What do they have him listed as? Is he... I mean, he's too big to kind of be a linebacker. So I was seeing if we could pick somebody that could be molded into a linebacker. It wasn't too... We have Charles Snowden from Virginia. I think we're just going to have to go and take the best linebacker at the time because the linebacking... There's not a lot of linebackers left that we haven't picked. So a lot of the linebackers are going to start going now. And we're going to get into the fifth round. And, I like these picks. That's the thing, is I think that if these are something that the Lions can actually do, I think you could see some really good value here. You take Zach Wilson at 11, nice little project. If you decide to trade Matthew Stafford and you want to start the kid right away and rebuild like that, totally fine. But you could also have someone like Zach Wilson groom for 1 or 2 years, see if Matthew Stafford can be the guy to, hand him the torch, right? Pass on his legacy, show him how to play the game. Matthew Stafford can leave after a couple of years, go somewhere else. But also, if you get the right pieces, right, and this is what we're trying to do in the later stages of the draft, we're in round 5 right now. If you can get the right pieces, you might be able to piece together a pretty good playoff team. Now, I'm not saying championship caliber, but if they can, use the free agency, use this draft to kind of tool up there, the second pick we got was an offensive tackle, helps out Matthew Stafford. I think that offensive line needs a lot of help. Ragnow had an injury, so we need to really make sure we suffice that line and keep that up and running. So we've picked basically a lot of the positions we really needed to, besides wide receiver. Now, my goal would be to try to keep Marvin Jones, but you do still need a wide receiver here to kind of give us that, what's the word I'm looking for, that insurance policy, but also somebody to be taught. So I am going to go, I like Justin Ross as well from Clemson, but, sorry, that was a little, why is it not going by position? Okay, that's how we do position. I just want to see, was Tony taken? I'm pretty sure Tony was taken. I don't know when. I'm not going to... Actually, can I search like this? Okay, show drafted. I don't know where he went, but we're going to go back to wide receivers. We got to clear that off. Man, I like Justin Ross. I mean, I think this is a good spot for him. I mean, he's a Clemson wide receiver. He showed some upside. Hasn't really been the same this season. That's why his rankings kind of dipped a little bit. I mean, earlier I knew he was projected to go maybe third, second round, with Clemson, and now he's just kind of. I mean, you have Trevor Lawrence throwing to you, and you're ranked 160. So I don't know. I'm going to go with him here. I think that's a good pick for us in the 5th round. Just because you're able to actually, get that wide receiver to groom. The goal is to keep our wideouts, to keep our free agents in here, and to hope that we can kind of build that team. If you look at the draft the way we're doing it, right? You get a tackle, you hope he turns out to be something solid. You get a quarterback, you hope he turns out to be something solid. And you get a wide receiver in the middle rounds because the goal of that is these guys are going to be ready to just replace, right? It's the Patriot way of where you should always have that next man up. And that's the thing with the Lions right now. What the Lions need to do is they need to also make sure that they're drafting for the future, but not just like, oh yeah, we need to get a guy that's going to be here for 10 years. They need to draft for the future, for the point where oh yeah, we already have this, but he's the best player available. Draft him, right? We have tackles, right? We could use an upgrade. We could go in free agency and get an upgrade, but draft a young kid, right? Draft a quarterback. You have Matthew Stafford. It doesn't hurt to take the quarterback there. We could have taken a tight end, and great. You have two really good tight ends, but you have no one to throw the ball to. So you take a quarterback there. You let him groom. You have the option. Now, these give you flexibility to make trades and make your team better. You notice a lot of the times the Patriots actually end up doing that because of the fact that they're sitting there and they're making those draft selections not based on need, not based on anything, just what they think are the best football players, right? Obviously filling needs as they go after free agency and everything like that, but as we're kind of rounding up this draft, you'll see these are our picks, and the point of these draft picks are to sit there and say, okay, we have flexibility. So if Matthew Stafford wants to leave, we have the next guy that we think is going to be the next best quarterback. If Matthew Stafford stays, we have a trade chip in Matthew Stafford that we can actually trade if we want to go with Zach Wilson in the future, right? So kind of redoing and looking at these draft picks, we got Zach Wilson in the first, we got Dylan Raduns in the second, Jordan Davis in the third, which I really like. We got Snowden in the fourth and Justin Ross in the fifth. Look, not that many draft picks for the Lions this year. They got 5. They really need to hit on 3 of those picks this year. I think that's the biggest thing for them moving forward. Wherever they end up picking, you got to go with the best 5 players available. You have to fill those needs. But like I said, you got to get that flexibility, right? We have interior defensive linemen, but might as well pick one. We have wide receivers that I hope to retain, but they're on the older side. Marvin Jones, I believe, is 31. Might be turning 32. I'm not too sure if that's what his actual age is. I have to look that up. But you grab someone like Justin Ross in the 5th round, hopefully gets groomed by these wide receivers, and once one of them goes, you have Cephas, bump those guys up, right? You give yourself flexibility. You don't want to be where the Patriots are right now, is where they didn't want to draft those. They wanted those depth guys, those special teams wide receivers, the blocking ones, right? The N'Keal Harry, and now you're looking at it as, Edelman's banged up on the end of his career, right? You have some of these wide receivers that, like Chris Hogan, Danny Amendola, that, weren't the best, but were great here. And now they're all gone, and all these wide receivers are gone, and you lose Tom Brady, you lose Gronk, you lose those players, and you don't have someone to fill the void, and you're noticing it with the wide receiver core we have now. Is Jacoby Myers, an undrafted free agent, is your best wide receiver right now. And it's the same thing with the Lions, right? You can be comfortable now, but 2 years from now, you might be kicking yourself saying, I wish we picked that kid in the 5th round, even though he's not. He might not be a superstar, but Justin Ross could be a very valuable wide receiver as the 3rd or 4th option. So with all of that being said, we are going to end today's special draft episode. No edits, no cuts, no nothing. We are going to be doing more of these. I believe Brady, myself, and Bobby have been talking about this for months. When the season comes to a close, as we get to the end of that season, we are going to be doing a draft special with all 3 of us, all of the teams, pick by pick, and we're going to go probably through the first 2 or 3 rounds. I think we're going to make it worthwhile, and that way we'll have some of that stuff. And Brady's going to be doing a Chargers episode of this. I don't know if Bobby's going to pick a second team and do that, but he might. And who knows, we might just do more teams in the future, go team by team. I really have a lot of fun doing this. Shout out to the Draft Network for having this platform. Not sponsored by them, but shout out to them for having great content on their website and this mock draft machine. I've been Cam, and I will see you guys on the next episode. And make sure you like and subscribe if this is the first time you have been on this video. I really appreciate it. Also, go check out our podcast. New episodes every single Thursday. I will see you guys on the next one.